So why is our mathematics system so powerful? How does Gradebusters manage to get its students to reach such high levels of mathematical understanding that go beyond preconceived expectations? Well, we formulated a principled approach. It is this principled approach that transforms and unlocks the academic potential of our students. What does this principled approach look like, you may ask? Well, look at the diagram of 3 worlds. As you can see, each circle represents a world. Let's start with the mathematical world. Mathematics exists in its own world. This world is pure, accurate, and always exact. This world is full of abstract symbols like addition, equals, infinity, percent. Let's imagine you are an alien and you've just landed in the mathematics world and you had never been given any formal education. If this was the case, symbols like the ones I just showed you would mean absolutely nothing to you. You would have no idea what they mean. The mathematics world is filled with abstract symbols. Let's look at another world, and we are going to call it the real world. This is the world that you are very familiar with. It is the world you and I live in. This world is full of cars, roads, buildings, people, shops, businesses, technology. Well, I could go on. When living in the real world, we like to use mathematics because this helps us make sense of everything around us. Unfortunately, real life is really messy. Let me give you an example of how messy the real world can actually be. Let's say I am in the mathematical world and I want to work out 3 divided by 2. I could very confidently come to the answer 1.5. Straightforward, really. However, let's take this same calculation to the real world. Imagine I have 3 real-life monkeys and I have 2 zookeepers that want to have my monkeys. I want to share my monkeys equally. I can give 1 monkey to 1 zookeeper and another monkey to another zookeeper. Job done. But what about the 3rd monkey? I hear one of the zookeepers shout at me. Well, if I continue to share my monkeys equally, oh my gosh, I would need to resort to finding maybe a sharp knife for that 3rd monkey. Oh, not a pleasant thought. Let's not go there. So, can you see how the real world can get very messy compared to the mathematical world, which can be quite straightforward? Teachers are encouraged and instructed to use real-life problems from the earliest age to help their pupils make sense of the mathematics world. However, this tends to make mathematics more confusing because if you do not have the understanding of the mathematics world and the fact that the real world can be very messy, children are more likely to be left trying to fathom principles that they have not been taught carefully so that they can understand. You see, often in schools, children are expected to make connections by themselves, and for many of us, this is challenging, and actually some of us never make the connections through our entire educational journey. So Gradebusters never takes this approach. Let me introduce you to a 3rd world. Gradebusters has created its own world. This world acts like a bridge between the two other worlds. In the Gradebusters world, we are able to explain how and why the mathematics works. This third world has specific objects and actions. Once our students are very familiar with the objects and actions used in the Gradebusters world, understanding mathematics is made straightforward through teaching which activates visual, audio and kinesthetic stimuli. You will notice from the diagram that the Gradebusters world is made up of 10 spokes. These spokes represent the 10 principles you need to know to understand mathematics. In schools, children experience thousands of mathematical tricks through their educational journey. Not only is it tricky for some students to remember all these tricks, but tricks do not enhance mathematical understanding. When you have limited understanding, it makes it near on impossible to make connections at higher levels of mathematics. Gradebusters never teaches tricks. Gradebusters only teaches through understanding. Schools tend to start teaching from the real world and then hope the children make the connections to the mathematical world. At Gradebusters, we leave nothing to chance, and we teach mathematics in the Gradebusters world. And once our students have the understanding of the mathematics, we then make the connection to the real world. Gradebusters teaches solely through understanding. It is a principled approach to education. In all our courses, the key principles have been identified and are taught with rigour. This allows the students to think about what they are doing when completing, whether it be tasks, activities and exercises in the sessions. As the students build experiential knowledge, the 10 principles combine, blend as understanding emerges. This is no mistake. Every student is given the opportunity to achieve to their potential without false limits being imposed. This is why the Gradebusters method achieves great results. Now, you actually only need to understand 10 principles to pass your GCSE mathematics exam. If you want to find out what those 10 principles are, come and watch my next video, and I look forward to seeing you then.